Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Guys, I must apologize before we get into it for my tone of voice. Everybody's sleeping. I'm recording this at like 2 a.m. so I'm going to keep the tone of voice a little bit down today. But today what we're going to be talking about is my prediction for Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Now when you take a look at this fight, and I've had this same opinion when looking at every single one of Israel Adesanya's fights throughout his whole middleweight run here, except I thought Robert Whittaker would beat him the second time because of how fast that guy is improving every single time that he fights. But then again, I guess it goes to show how good Adesanya is. Of even the improved version of Robert Whittaker, the absolute killer that he is, couldn't take out Israel Adesanya. And a lot of people don't like Israel Adesanya because he makes the fight boring. And it actually, I don't want to say boring where it's boring, but he actually does kind of make it boring because he is so far ahead of his opponents. You know what I mean? He defends it by saying this is fight IQ, and it really is fight IQ. It just doesn't make for a really spectacular performance. He stands on the outside, kicks the leg, picks his shots. You know what I mean? He made Jared Cannonier look like he didn't even belong in the octagon with him. Jared couldn't do anything against him. And Israel Adesanya, it's tough to tell whether or not he's improving or if he's just got the stylistic matchups down pat. Point is, the guy is incredibly dominant, and there's just seems like nobody can even touch him now. It's really exciting for this fight because Alex is brand new to the UFC. He won his couple fights. Yeah, he had adversity in a couple of them. You know what I mean? He got held on the ground in one of his fights, but even then, the guy is huge. He looks powerful, and most importantly, this guy beat Israel Adesanya twice in kickboxing, one by knockout and one by decision. Now, looking at both of them and talking about their kickboxing matchups, obviously Alex beat him twice. So what is there to think? What's the biggest takeaway from there when you're matching up these two and breaking it down? Yeah, Alex is a little bit of a better kickboxer. Now, another question that I have for you is Israel Adesanya going to go for takedowns? Is he going to try and take down Alex Pereira? Because Israel has been on the ground himself in UFC fights, and I can't imagine all the skills that he hasn't shown, because had the few times that we have seen him on the ground, he was attacking submissions. He looked strong. He looked like he was great. Honestly, Israel Adesanya's ground game is very, very underrated. Now, the big problem is, and I don't think he's going to do this, is he going to shoot for the takedown? I don't believe he's going to shoot for the takedown. The guy, his biggest weakness, in my opinion, is his ego. I don't know whether or not you'll agree with this, but it is so clear to me that Adesanya is just, he has an ego to him, right? He's going to want to get this win back. I don't necessarily think that's going to mean by he's going to try and go there guns blazing against Alex, right? But he's going to want to win a kickboxing match because that's how he got defeated twice. I can just see it. I just like seeing Israel Adesanya from an outside perspective and how he behaves. I can see that being the case. I would be so surprised if Israel shot for a takedown in this fight. And would he get it? I don't even know. Alex is Glover's main training partner, and Glover is one of the best on the ground. So if Glover's using him as one of his main training partners, man, I don't know what to think. It's just, will he be able to get taken down? He's shown that he can be held on the ground in his first few fights, but maybe that's just because he was brand new to the UFC. I don't know. He could strike it up to nerves, or maybe he's just really not that good on the ground. Maybe he is just a kickboxer after all. Tough to tell in that sense. I do believe, though, if Israel Adesanya wants to win this fight and be smart about it, I think, and again, I know I'm just a guy on the internet talking. I'm not Israel Adesanya. I'm not a coach. You know what I mean? I don't compete, but I think from an outside perspective, just my opinion, the way he needs to win this fight is actually go for those takedowns, because that is the only weakness we saw out of Alex so far in the UFC. Because, again, he beat you twice in kickboxing. This guy, we're wearing 4-ounce gloves now. He beat you with kickboxing gloves. Like, this guy has power, and he has scary power. The way he's finished fights has been absolutely incredible so far. One other thing that I do want to talk about when thinking about this fight, and I've touched on this in another video, so I won't talk about it a ton, is Israel Adesanya going to go in this fight emotional? And you already know you cannot go into a fight really emotional. Every once in a while it'll work if you just go in there guns blazing, but that's a huge risk. Now, Israel Adesanya, he gets very upset at reporters. He gets upset at other fighters talking about it. He gets upset just being even asked the question about Alex Pereira, especially on the last card. And I understand that there's a lot of factors in there, but the guy gets visibly upset when you bring up Alex's name, especially if you're Sean Strickland, right? But that's a whole nother situation. So I have a feeling like Israel Adesanya, again, going back to his ego, I feel like there's a huge weight on his shoulders right now. Is he going to fight the same? Is he just going to stand outside? Maybe he'll be even too scared, more scared. Like, I don't want to say more scared than usual, but like obviously he's not scared. He doesn't want to get knocked out. I'm picking my words very carefully when I talk about this, because he stands on the outside and some people act like he's scared. So like a lot of casuals in the comment sections are like, oh, Israel's scared of like getting into fist fights, but then he goes and has a war against Calvin Gastelum. Obviously the dude's not scared. That whole clip of him going, you won't beat me, I'm ready to die for this. That's actually such a badass clip. I hope I'm coming off like, I hope you understand what I'm saying in this sense, because Israel Adesanya, will he go in there so hesitant that he'll throw less shots than usual? That's probably what I'm trying to say the most. Like, that's the best I could describe it. Or is he going to go in there and want to get that knockout back because this is the only guy that's ever finished him in his life, besides like sparring, if that ever happened, you know what I mean, on the lights. And there's video of him being knocked out cold, and it's a bad knockout, and Alex is like over him like this, like, yeah, that's right, I just knocked you out, you know what I mean? So he will probably want to get that back. It's just, will he be smart smart about it? Is he going to go in there guns blazing just trying to get that knockout? Is he going to be even more tentative? Are the emotions going to get to him? The big lights? We have no idea, and I think that is a huge factor that people aren't talking about when they break down this fight. When it comes to that, I don't necessarily have an answer for you. Of course, there's no way to know unless we actually see him. I feel like this is going to be a very, very tense fight week. It's going to be a very intense walkout, and I cannot wait to see this fight. For my prediction, though, I believe this is the first time we will see Israel Adesanya lose, and I think he's going to lose bad. I think Alex is too big, too scary. I like that he's training with Glover. I like that he's new to the UFC. He's a fresh matchup for Adesanya, and I really do think that emotions are going to play a factor in this fight, but I could be wrong about that. But guys, I would love to know what you think down below. Who do you think is going to win this fight? And especially, what do you think about Israel Adesanya's emotions going into the fight? Because I'd be curious if people are on my side about that. So thank you again for watching, everybody. Check the description down below if you're interested in any of my other channels, and turn notification bells on for this channel. Subscribe if you're brand new, like the video, comment down below, and thank you again. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.